heart pulsed with longing to find a secret treasure. Its pull, a warm tingle in his chest, in his personal library, surrounded by the rich aroma of aged leather and the soft flicker of candlelight casting dancing shadows. And when you realize by his grandfather, its pages crackling under his touch, whispering that a special seat existed near yet so far. Its presence teased him like a distant melody. He repetitively read the book, fingers tracing rough parchment. The faint ink
not now, but in just a moment I'll
his
ask
breath,
you to open up your eyes and
uncover
you'll come all the way
as to
up,
where
then
it
you'll
might
close
be.
them and go
Each
all
word
the way
sparking
down.
visions in his mind.
So open
No
your
one
eyes all
until
the way
now
up,
has been able to find it,
close them and
but he
go
didn't fret,
all the
sensing
way
the creeping dawn's
down.
golden warmth seeping through the window, urging him to leave his comfort and search outside
open your
himself.
eyes all the way up,
call resonating like a drumbeat in his bones.
close them
No
all
other
the way
decision seemed
down.
rational enough to satiate him. The craving for the special item burning like fire in his vein, and he longed to possess it, to feel its power surge through him. It was said to be a chair that God sat in, its wood perhaps still warm with divine energy. And when one came to the realization that they were seated in it, a great power would flush through the individual center and beyond. A radiant wave rewiring their entire being. Nerves aligned with celestial fire, birthing them with the power of a god of their own choosing.
Down from the
Every
number
sense
100.
aflame with possibility.
you count,
The boy longed for
until you
godhood, its
apply to
promise
yourself,
sweet as honey on
deeper
his tongue,
relax.
knowing it was the only way to outdo his past of being a misfit. Then finally it would erase his
99,
wrongs, soothing like a balm, and he could be something beyond just a failure, transformed in a blaze of glory. One day he stepped out from where he was into a great snowstorm. Icy flakes stinging his face like needles. The winds were pounding his ears as it pushed back with all its might. Trees crashing with thunderous cracks that echoed in his chest. His heart began to wane, its rhythm faltering under the cold grip, knowing that in this journey he might die. The thought chilling his blood. Out of exhaustion he fell, body heaving with ragged gasps. The frost sharp bite in his lungs as he told himself over and over to get up, keep fighting, push forward. But his limbs wouldn't budge, heavy as stone, until the angel of death, Samael, showed himself. His presence a shimmering mist with a faint otherworldly scent of ozone. You there, listen to these words. His voice of velvet command slicing through the gale's howl. And before he spoke, relax. Feel yourself drawn, pulled like a tide to another story in the east, where another person lived named Gil, in a land where the air shimmered with a spicy tang of incense and rustle of palm fronds whispering secrets in the breeze. Gil was drawn towards the spiritual, a magnetic pull in his soul, in search of something he could not name, for it had none. Its essence, a silent hum, vibrating deep within his core. He wrote notes and spoke to himself constantly, the quill scratch to a rhythmic pulse against a distant chime of temple bells, attempting to find the spiritual treasure hidden in plain sight. Its promise teasing like a scent just beyond rush. He went to the temple where they worship that man also has marble floors, soothing his bare feet, inquiring about how to find the spiritual treasure. But since nothing was in the books even past, the pages musty, scent unyielding, they sent him off to the peaceful monks. Gil was filled with dread, a heavy fog coiling in his gut, because he knew he was getting close to what he wanted more than anything in the world. The desire burning like an ember in his chest. He walked up the old ancient steps, each creak crumbled under his lips, sending shivers up his spine, taking his time ascending, the air thinning with the crisp bite of pine and wild herbs. And at the peak was a wise monk, his robes whispered in the wind. Would you seek, young one? He said, voice smooth as river stones. I'm in search of the spiritual treasure that is known only to the most wise, Gil said, words hanging in the chilly air. The monk stared at him for what seemed to be an hour, the silence pressing him like a weight on his chest, then turned around to walk away, footsteps fading into the hush. Gil ran up to him and yelled for him to wait, voice echoing off the craggy peaks, for this was his chance to finally find the sacred treasure. It's pull magnetic, peaceful monk. I came to you with great reverence and love. Please tell me where to find it. I couldn't have made it more obvious. Silence is the answer, young one. Make the silence louder than everything, and all will be revealed. The monk's voice resonated with a low hum, the quietest place in the mountain of Tenhai. And when you arrive, look for the loudness in the silence, a subtle roar beneath the calm.
Your mind and the
Gil
height
was more confused than
your
ever,
soul
thoughts
deep within.
swirling like leaves in a gust. But he knew he had no choice, for he longed to scratch
Each and
that
every
invisible
direction.
itch that could only be revealed by the
Providing
act
shade
of
to
knowing.
places that
The
couldn't
itch
be
pulsing
known.
under his skin, he gathered supplies, the canvas packed rough against his shoulders, and headed directly to the forest of Tenhai. The earthy
I want
scent
you to
of damp
mentally
leaves filling his
locate
lungs.
inside your mind.
The climb was arduous,
First
muscles
impression.
burning with each step.
The location that
trickling
represents
salty
going
down
beyond
his
the
back.
state of
But
this
Gil
one.
persevered, tapping into his
And I want
negative,
you to imagine as
destructive
if you dipped
energy,
your finger
a
in.
dark fire surging through his veins,
And it
to
begins
continue
to
pushing
come up your
forward,
arm.
filled with power and not grief, strength coursing like a river. Gil
then go
finally
into the
arrived at the mountain of Tenhai, the
Spread
air
your
shot
head
with
and down to
altitude
your
bite.
chest,
But what
back,
he found was totally
stomach,
unexpected to what he had
waist,
anticipated,
legs,
senses overwhelmed by. Speaking of which, in the west, where sunsets bled fiery oranges and the salty tang of ocean winds whipped through the
Now
air,
you are in a
lived a
place
girl
beyond
known as Jillian.
the regular
Jillian had
hypnotic
very
state.
strict parents who wouldn't let her veer in any
All
other
the
direction
sounds in your
that wasn't
environment
what was considered to be the
and
right way
unintentional.
by society.
Gentle
Their
waves
voices
slapping at the
sharp
shoulder
as
of your
whips,
awareness,
cracking in her
carrying you
ears.
deeper and
She
deeper
received
into a state of
lashes and
profound
rebuke if
relaxation.
she showed any sign of
As you sit
indolence.
there,
To adhere to the strict
breathing,
code of conduct set by
listening,
society
you begin
that
to
was then
embody
enforced
that
by her
sense of
parents.
authority,
The sting of their
authentically,
disapproval burning her
automatically,
skin like fire.
effortlessly.
The day
Because when
came
you
when
settle
she
into
was
your
to
chair,
roam the world
like in
again,
search of
returning
meaning
to
and
purpose.
purpose,
The earth
carved from the
softer,
roots of your own
yielding
becoming,
under her
you
feet.
may become
On the day
aware
of departure
of the
she kissed
authority
her parents
already
goodbye,
belonging
their
to you,
cheeks
won't
rough
you?
and tasting faintly of salt from
Before
numerous
you fully
tears.
embody
And
that
thanked them for
authority,
all their
like the
preparation
river
to that
before it
point.
merges with the
Gratitude
ocean.
heavy on her tongue.
I
She
wonder
left,
how
believing she was ready
you
for
will
the
remain
travels ahead.
indefinitely,
The roads fresh
because I
breeze
know that
filling
you
her
know
lungs
how to
with
remain in that
possibility.
authority
After
state
walking for some
wherever you
time,
go.
feet aching from the uneven path, she began
Just
to
as
notice
naturally as
that
you
she
know how
had
to
walked
sit
past
on
the
an
same
ordinary
place
chair.
several
And
times.
after you
The
claim
crunch
that
of the
authority
uniquely
seat
shaped
permanently,
underfoot,
like a
marking
seed
the same
crackling open
location,
to become
its
an
texture
ancient oak.
distinct against her soul.
You can keep the
So she
change,
then
won't
made her
you?
way to
As
ask
you
help
sink
of
deeper
others.
into
The
your
sun's
sense of
warmth
authority,
caressing her
like
face.
warm sand
In front of her
falling
were
at
two
your feet
paths,
on a
one
forgotten
veering
beach.
left into shadowy
Continue to feel
whispers,
calm,
and one right into brighter
you
light.
understand
The air
that
humming with
every
joy.
breath you
She
take
waited at the base of
cements
the
the
path
change of
for a
being
traveler
that
to pass
authority
by,
figure
anticipation
indefinitely
buzzing in her
doesn't end.
veins. After a long time of
wonder
waiting, the scent of earth
whether
and
you
age
already know
approaching,
in that
an
quiet
old woman
place
waddled to
where
her,
certain
steps
grows
shuffling.
like ivy on
Jillian
stone,
asked her
that
which
you can
way
be
she
that
should go,
authority figure
thinking
in
that
all
all people knew the
situations,
correct way, of
locations,
which
and
the old lady
circumstances.
pointed to the right path. Fingers
Becoming the
gnarled
god
and
of your
steady.
own life.
Jillian complied,
Expanding,
heart light,
like
not
the
horizon
horizon
at
at
journey
dawn.
on the right path.
The biggest
She was
in your
met
world
with a
and
thorny
beyond.
path that was
Now,
wearing down her shoes.
in a
The
moment,
gritty rasps
your
slowing her
unconscious
down.
mind,
Thorns that
wise
wise her
gardener
skin
beneath
with
the
tiny
surface
beads of
can
warm
shift
blood.
all the
She brushed
internal
off the
and
feeling of
external
rebuking
beliefs
the old
to
lady
align
as the lady may have
wholeheartedly,
wished her well,
like
and the other path
constellations
was probably
realigning.
filled with much worse
After a
things,
cosmic
unseen
breath, and you
dangers
shall,
lurking.
won't
She
you?
traveled down the road, struggling all the
Anyone
while,
can cement
sweat
the change
stinging
of
her
being the
eyes
director
until she
of their
ran into
life.
another fork in the road.
Just as a
air
field
growing
maker
thicker,
cuts and
one road
reshapes
led
raw
left
footage,
and the
the
other right.
masterpiece,
And again, Jillian was left
and the architect
to wait
of your
for someone
destiny,
to come by
drafting
and guide her
blueprints
onto the
on the
correct
parchment of
path.
possibility.
Patience framed like worn threads.
I know that you
the
know
same
best
old woman from
how to
before,
easily and
enclosed
quickly
fit
hold
for
the
snow
reins of your
that
own
rustled
journey,
oddly in
like
the
a rider
scorching
who has
hot
always known
outside
the
air
horse's
baking her
rhythm.
skin, waddled
The
past
silence
again,
between your
and
thoughts,
Jillian again asked
that
politely
sacred
which road to
pause
travel.
speaks and
For his
encourages
part,
you
the old
to be
woman
the
pointed
author of
again
your
to the right
life,
path,
more
finger
and more.
unwavering. Jillian again thanked her gleefully.
Because the more
Words
you
bubbling
remain on
up,
the throne
and
of your
began her
existence,
travel
like
onto
a
the road
monarch
on the right,
whose
footsteps
crown
heavy,
grows
more
lighter
obstacles in
with
the last
every
adorned
decree.
road, branches
The more you can
snagging
relax
like
in the
claws,
fact that you
and
can
she
do it
questioned if
all the
listening to
time,
the old woman was
anywhere,
the right decision.
with ease.
Doubts whispering like
Because
rustling
it's better
leaves
to
in her
embody
mind.
and
She
carry
struggled
that
and toiled,
essence of the
muscles
captain
screaming,
who steers
and
their
again
own ship.
reached the end of that
Not
road,
by force,
breath ragged,
but by the
and in front of
quiet
her was
knows of
another
wind
one
and
veering
tide,
left
in the
and
best
one
way
veering
that
right,
you know
but at a
how.
much more pronounced
In
angle.
addition to
The
your
path's
unconscious
edges,
mind,
sharp in the fading
readjusting
light.
your
So
beliefs,
again, Jillian was in need
values,
of
and
making a decision. Frustration building like heat in her chest. Setting a crown. This time she stomped her feet at the base. The ground vibrating under her soles. Being the sovereign person in your will leave you wondering. Senses suspended. And now to the south is a whispering in search of a guiding star. Its light beckon you like a siren's entire kingdom. Princess was a girl from a land far, far away from this one. Even beyond these suggestions, land like a caterpillar unaware. One day, Princess was dreaming the soft veil of sleep wrapping her in a warm cocoon. When she saw a star much bigger and brighter than the rest, its glow bathing her with golden tingling radiance. You can allow the bustling life of the star pulsing to rise, and the glow became into the conscious mind, resembling a person with their limbs spread out, creating a five-pointed star. Its rhythm sinking with her heart in the day. The glow expanded as it became a bit bigger. The person contracted as it went back to its original size, as if it was bringing the air humming with its energy. Princess was sure that the star was alive, its presence pulling at her soul, and it wanted her for a goal, desiring you to be the ultimate ability. She heard rumbling sounds that only you imagine how easy it is to navigate, resonating in her chest, which told her that it would build her a tower like a lighthouse, standing unshaken through centuries, and proclaim her as the god allowed to rewrite all paths, letting her face to reflect the thought that you are the one who has total power over yourself. She had no idea that she wanted that thing, but she was convinced that it was hers now. The certainty of faith, if you will, is nectar. Can you become aware of being the pen that writes your dreams' haze, like a star disappeared and reappeared at a higher distance, leaving a permanent mark on the world. This time she jumped in a way, the motion joining her body, and again the star disappeared and reappeared at a higher distance, that writes your destiny like a playful shadow. She climbed to her attic, the wooden stairs creaking under responsibility for your tickling her nose with its musty scent, and the star was there and powerful, softly. She thought from the outsmarted by walking backwards, because a person footsteps echoing and running into it, so being would become your own with her. Warmth emerging, but when she walked to the exact landmark where the star was, its light burned her face. It teleported away as if it had an intelligence of its own, leaving a faint afterglow. She ran outside, but direct cool night air shocking her skin. Till the end of time, the star was above her house, pulsating invitingly. She scurried inside her as the blacks as quickly as she could, heart racing to grab a ladder of its metal cold in the lighthouse that the high-casing ladder outside. She stepped onto the first life, then a second, and then the third, each one way aligned with your finally she reached the roof, which even tiles become under her more valuable. This time when she climbed, you haven't even begun to dream yet. You are even more seductive than before. A magnetic touch drawing her core, her entire being aligned, sharp at the body, humming, soul vibrating for the first time to ever since alive. But again, when she reached out her hand, fingers valuable to disappear. This time the star took to be that god that seemed majestic to her, radiant and towering, and it was seated on the seat much more beneficial, staying as the monarch of your mind. Listen here, said the star, because as you exist, occupying space, cosmic waves crashing in her ears. Follow these instructions to be set free forever. Then even more than you have pure light. What you have to do is remind me one now. God is another matter of importance. It's gravity pulling time like an unseen tide. Written in stars was one of your brothers. The hearts and iron crackle warmly, yet casting long shadows of neglect. Whether you will stay there permanently or eternally, with unspoken tension. He was very ambitious and always knew life was holding something valuable for him to receive new desire to remain the anticipation beyond any authority immediately. He was born with an imagined desire to love. You will continue to stay like the sunlight on the skin. But the problem was in your mind and slight by his mother. Her cold glances piercing like winter winds. Joseph cared about his mother's love and always wanted to receive it, yet he never did. The absence aching like an open wound. He would constantly tell her of revelations he had, words tumbling out in earnest pleas, but he was always constantly rebuked by his mother. Her voice was sharp, cutting from now on. He told her every second of your life, because he wanted her to take charge of every aspect of her life. But it was to know you are the creator of your destiny. Given that silence, she didn't love saying, at least he could see all true aspect to her life. You might wonder how easy it is to go into every single situation as the one who dictates the rules. The mystery you will rely on being the being that goes beyond all was a gaping wound, becoming something other than human, and something more divine. Claim it, their soft touch, for it is yours. With distraction made, for you might have considered holding on to that power and absorbing back in all the void that you gave away in the past. Completely insane, a madness swirling like storm clouds you will stay with in the future, together with noticing already how easy it is to keep the alterations that are now the norm. It's better to be the person who will be more potent than anything. Told him the complete. For at a time when you thought you may be who you really are, and whatever is beyond that, he know you're eager to find out how permanently you will remain as the authority figure of your entire life being.
To him
And to those
stay
he
the
loved,
person who
the
keeps
fallout
everything
tasting
at bay.
bad for life is only infuriated his mother more, and her hate you play and pay to slay all excuses today in the way of your full, powerful, omnipotent authority completely. The chill of absence scorned him when he needed something. Plus, don't imagine yourself in that authority seat cemented into every chance she had. Decide today that you are the one to dictate your destination. Joseph was listening. Drives you to reorganize your self-image to reflect that, and decided whether in 2 seconds enough was enough. Resolve hardening like steel. It will happen. Go and find the love he's so deep parallel to envision the self going beyond any human limitation, simultaneously becoming whatever is beyond God. Not only allowing that to grow, but to take root much more deeply than you can ever imagine. In the process of being the commander-in-chief of all parts of your life, he so drives you to stay the ruler of your kingdom. More and more entails following your own cardinal direction and doing as you please, rewriting and reprioritizing what morals you will now have to keep it more aligned with being the God of your own existence. The sun wearing the crown that decrees you to be the ruler of your kingdom, stay in place permanently, effortlessly, automatically. And when you imagine it happening, then you can just see it doing it all by its own repetitive listance, constantly in all situations, bleeding into every other aspect of your life. So stay as it must, and you at the top of everything, which drives you to realize that you've been the one holding the needle of your fate all along. And he was at the same time imagining you making the change quickly and keeping him to save me. Then triggers you to hold tighter onto the wand of destiny. So I must find a way to keep yourself going in the way that we want to go, which means the real person is the one who makes actions happen. The ground, your life, which is you, and drifted into a meditative state. That when you reach full potentiality, now his calm world over, you can allow yourself to sit and even more grounded than ever, rooted like in your divine chair that repels all others and allows only you to sit in its true self hidden inside. It's realization, don't magnet only pulls you hiding because of the pain inflicted by the sense of condition. Together with the mind manifesting better and better ways, and ensuring you remain that whatever is beyond the ultimate authority, and that equals you growing indefinitely. Now, self-acceptance blooming like a flower in sunlight. A murmur of an internal voice spoke something faint like a whisper in the wind, but because it was so muffled, Joseph had no means of understanding. Straining his ears, again the voice spoke, and Joseph did his best to listen intently. Focus sharpening your size, it said, the words vibrating through him. Joseph was puzzled as he didn't understand what it meant by his size. Brow furrowing, your size, how big are you? It said again, probing. Joseph mentally thought to himself and answered that he was the size of an ant compared to everything around him, insignificant and small. It's time to change that, the voice said, empowering, and no longer will you ever have to struggle with the thought of not being big enough to become the most important thing in your world, leading to that self-love he craved, sweet and fulfilling. He mentally increased his size to be the biggest in all existence, the expansion fleeing like a rush of wind outward, and to Joseph's surprise, he grew and grew and grew beyond what was available to any person, body expanding with a sense of boundless freedom. This reminded him of a time when he saw a black and red rose that pushed outside of concrete, its petals vibrant against the gray, defying all odds. Everything that said he wasn't supposed to exist was baffled, constraints shattering, because Joseph, now outside of the hole and in another dimension, the air shimmering with possibility, filled all of space and became whatever was beyond space, infinite and encompassing. And there, in that place, was a woman with gesture-like features, her laughter tinkling like bells, and she then told him, "What took you so long?" Her voice playful and warm, and they both fell in love, hearts sinking in a radiant glow, and Joseph was finally complete at last, wholeness flooding every sense, allowing your mind again to shift back to the south. The stars said, "What you have to do is to go beyond the mind that you have now," said the star, its voice a silken vibration, resonating in Princess's bones. You believe believe you are human, but you are not. You are a being that is higher than all of the creations, even something bigger than what God is. The words igniting sparks in her mind. How can I achieve this? Said Princess, breath catching, and the star replied, I am inside of you, not outside. The truth warming her from within. In that moment, Princess looked down, and near her chest area was what seemed to be a projector, humming softly, its light casting a warm glow. The projector spread its image onto where Princess saw the star sitting on the throne, radiant and majestic. But this time, when she looked inward, she was already seated where she wanted to be. The throne's velvet soft under her. The world became white, blinding and pure, and the simulation had ended because Princess knew that she was the one and only God of her inner world. Power surging like electricity through her veins. She ruled with wit and might, strategy sharp as blades, outmaneuvering all of the gods and forging herself to be the God of all gods forever. Supremacy eternal in her grasp, every sense alive with dominion. Wonder no longer, because now Jillian, in front of the two paths, waited a moment to fully commit. The air thick with tension, she stomped her feet in anger that the past two roads didn't work, the impact jarring up her legs. And to her surprise again, the old lady stood at the base, pointing to the right path, now wearing summer attire, a Hawaiian shirt, vibrant and breezy against the skin, shorts light and sandals on her feet. No need, Jillian said, voice firm as she took the path to the left, steps decisive. As soon as she stepped foot onto the path, her world illuminated in a manner that she had never experienced before. Light flooding her vision, warm and enveloping. Her skin was glowing and pulsating like the star of her cousin Princess's dream. A rhythmic throb sinking with her heartbeat. As she continued forward, the ground soft and yielding. Her mind whispered new instructions on how to be. Secrets hidden in plain sight, unfolding like petals in a gentle breeze. The silence that once covered the world became sound, a subtle hum filling her ears, and the what was sound became silence, peaceful and profound. For once, she was in a state of complete bliss, euphoria washing over like a gentle wave. In that moment, she knew that either her parents lied or were misinformed. The realization bittersweet, but nonetheless, some things are not found on the right path, but instead to the left. Truths veiled there, and so she left all her humanity behind, shedding it like old skin, and became her own authority of her life, dictating what she wanted, when she wanted, and how she wanted. Power thrumming in her core like a heartbeat, gently guiding yourself to the east. For in the mountain of 10 high, a deafening roar assaulting his eardrums. His ears winced painfully, his brain yelling for him to run away from the intense noise that vibrated through his skull. But his negativity channeled arrogance for him to push forward. A bold surge swelling in his chest, and also his pride came along for the ride. A fiery spark, it felt as though there was a strong wind pushing him back, gust whipping his clothes and stinging his eyes. He took 2 steps forward, muscle straining, and 1 back. The retreat gritty underfoot, 2 steps forward and 1 back. And although it felt impossible, the resistance like a wall, and he remembered what his grandfather had told him about a big and arduous task. The memory warm in his mind. How was an elephant consumed? The grandfather asked, voice echoing in recall. Gil looked at him confused, and his grandfather replied with 1 bite at a time. Wisdom settling like a calm tide. 2 steps forward, then 1 step back. So he persevered until reaching the center of it. Sweat dripping salty, he tried to cover his ears, hands pressing tight, but it only made the noise louder, amplifying the chaos as his heart pounded with stress, thumping wildly. He couldn't take it anymore and yelled as loud as he could, "Shut up!" His voice raw and echoing, the noise retreated, and he heard the silence, its quiet depth profound. The silence spoke softly, but sometimes abruptly and painfully. But nevertheless, once he saw the silence, it was impossible not to see it in everything, omnipresent and clear. So then he sat for a while, breath steadying, integrating this new belief into his godly identity, the shift empowering. It wasn't the first time he heard from the silence. Aunt Jillian spoke to him about it, her words resonating like a distant bell, and it was all preparing him for this very moment, that he could see the unseen, vision clearing like a lifting fog. That is when he heard in the silence the truth he had so much longed for, its whisper intimate and warm. You are God and will remain God and will go beyond whatever God is. And if you need a reason, just because. because I said I decree it, and so it shall be. The decree vibrating with finality, power coursing through his veins. And finally, we are back in the realm of nowhere. Listen to these words and push through all this pain. Samael, the angel of death, said, his presence a cool mist on heated skin, voice a hypnotic cadence, slicing through the snowstorm's howl. Pain is just a teacher, but you can make it your mistress and bend it to your very will. The words soothing, the sting of icy flakes. You must remember the promise you made, the one that you hold dear, and bring it to the surface so that you can triumph. Its warmth surfacing like a buried ember. It's time to totally embody your divinity, essence glowing like a beacon. Reject anything that isn't you. Focus on winning, create the win. Be bold and courageous, heart fierce. For as your great-great-grandfather Gil said, the loudness is found in the silence, subtle yet powerful, and it's behind the force of the wind waiting. In that moment, Gil decided to no longer be challenged by the wind. Its howl now familiar, a wild song. He then chose to ride the great wind, the rush exhilarating, and instead of it pushing him away from his goal, it propelled him forward towards it, speed building like a gathering storm. New emotions that weren't available before were now his fuel, vibrant and alive, to create a life of his choosing. Canvas blank and shimmering with possibility, he followed his own path, lit by his own internal star, its light guiding warmly until he finally reached the place he was wanting to be, a rival sweet as victory, when he sat on the great throne that proclaimed him to be his own God, the seat firm and empowering. Its surface, under his touch, he realized the outside was only a metaphor, because internally he was already seated in the great chair. During the journey there, the truth dawning like a sunrise, and so he sat both internally and externally in the ultimate authority seat of the God beyond all gods, power infinite, senses ablaze with radiant dominion. And I will leave you with this: I can lose everything and still have lost nothing, because I